Okay. Wow. Wow. It's hey, we're here. We're here recording tonight, y'all. Hey, what's up? Hello, everyone, and welcome to the BINACT podcast, where we talk music, the people that make it, and the communities that listen to it. I'm gonna do my opener because I practiced, but we're just gonna have a chit chat about what just happened before we started recording.
The
Hello,
question is
everyone.
no. The question is not the BINAC podcast. The question is how long are you going to be with us tonight?
I look. Hey, let me introduce myself. Let's get the actual show on the road before we go down that other road. I am Candice. I am the creator of BINACT, the 9-year music exploration blog turned event platform turned podcast. And I am joined with my two co hosts tonight, AD, short term friend, long term co host, and OG, long term friend, short term co host. I'd ask y'all how y'all doing, but we've been talking for 30 minutes because of tech issues. So tell everybody else how you're doing because I already know.
Oh, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm great. I'm having lots of fun watching you struggle with technology.
As AD so aptly reminded us, it is Mercury retrograde, and today has been a day. So first of all, I was gonna tell the guys that the Moody hoodie is on, so I'm in a mood. But I didn't even get to tell them that because the computer started acting a whole asshole before I started some updates and I thought they were going to be done by the time that I loaded up our room to record in. And let's just say they weren't. And then I think the update got stuck and then it didn't. And then I almost had to force close the computer. And then I think, running in like one frame a second. Hey, there's just been a lot going on in 30 minutes.
And while you were talking just now, you froze again.
Oh, joy. Great. Awesome. We'll see how this works tonight, everybody.
That's
Um,
the episode title. Mercury retrograde.
yeah. Well, I think there's a.
Hey, James Blake, retrograde.
I was just about to say there's either James Blake or Neo.
There's a
One of
song
the
title
two.
associated with that.
We've got it. It's together.
I
Let
was
me.
like, doesn't Neo have a title by that?
I don't know about Neo. I'm talking about Neo, the uh lady singer, not Neo. But yeah, as if it's just an audio podcast tonight, then that's what it is. Because I must still be frozen because OG is cracking up.
No, you're fine.
No,
Okay, I
I'm
was
not.
like,
Now I'm laughing about how you talking about Neo, he's talking about Neo, and I'm talking about James Blake, and it's just like none of us are on the same page right now. This is the
well,
definition
no,
of retrograde Mercury right now.
I heard James Blake. I'm with James Blake, and then like, we're just gonna the proverbial sage. We're gonna sage the opening of this and get back on track because actually we have a pretty like um loose episode tonight, which I'm excited to talk about if uh retrograde will allow us to record properly tonight. Um, but AD, you said you wanted to ask a question before we dove deep. I always get scared. Ever since we started off the episode with them robots all them years ago, I get nervous. What's going on? And also I'm drinking. I have wine. That's what's going on.
Well, it's actually two. It's actually two.
Consensual.
Um, two questions. Number one, how long is too long to stay at a beach? And number two, what is your social battery?
The beach question. I love the beach. Well, do you mean like on the beach? So like the extent of a day or like the length of the trip?
Like actually on the beach?
By the water.
Yes.
I'm the wrong person to ask because as long as it's not 95 a gajillion degrees outside, I could be out there all day. So I'm not your person.
Now, does that mean like a
4 hours
fully?
tops.
You said 5 hours?
4 hours tops.
Oh, see, see, I'm on that wavelength.
I've done and I'll say this: a beach where there. So I think of Folly, or even like really, well, Myrtle too, but Folly is one of my favorites, where I can go like where there are beachfront like restaurants and stuff. So I could be out there all day as long as I can go like to a restaurant and pee and things. If not, then I agree with 4 hours. 4 hours is probably a good amount of time. But if I'm like next to a restaurant or somewhere to get food, I can be out there for a considerable amount of time. Especially if I pack a little picnic basket like Yogi Bear, a little cooler. I'll be out there all the time.
Now,
I'm
what's
good.
it? Now, again, my second question piggybacked off of that. So, if you're saying 4 to 5 hours, what's your social battery?
Oh, I don't have to. My headphones are on at the beach. What do you mean? I'm not talking to anybody on the beach.
No, what is your
Under what circumstances? Where am I?
Yeah, because like, if you're talking about the beach,
I have more battery for more situations than other situations.
All right,
Right.
all right. Let's go down the after work function.
Oh, after work function. First of all,
1 hour, if that.
in these times, I only go that question for me is a little warped because when I'm going to an after work function, I'm normally there for like an extended amount of time because I'm probably traveling for work. So still an hour. An hour is solid, but because I am a remote employee, I like to tip my hat and be like, I'm socializing because nobody sees me. So maybe like an hour and a half.
Family function. There's
How
multiple.
much family and how close?
No comment because they listen. No comment. I'm gonna shut my ass up. No, family stuff. OG's question is the right one. It depends on who it is. If it's like my close
Who
people,
all gonna be there?
Yeah, who all gonna be there is very key. Which cousins, like all of that.
Which side of the family?
Now let's say for an event, whether it's a concert or sporting event in me and OG's realm.
I'll do a sporting event
the whole time.
I won't do a concert. Yeah, I'm there. I went to a football game. I was there like an hour and a half before kickoff.
God damn! Doing what?
Yeah, walking around the concourse, looking at the stadium,
Woo,
finding my seat.
Team.
Yep, pretty much.
That makes sense if you haven't been there before, or if like it's a long distance. Like for me, it was that hour and a half makes perfect sense as my dog just knocked over my leg.
Yo, we're leaving it in.
Just play James Blake retrograde underneath
we're
the
leaving
entire
it
episode.
in.
The whole episode.
Listeners, the dog came and knocked down the light. Like we're really having a time. We're having a time tonight.
All right, take two. Yes, if it's a place that you haven't, like a venue you haven't been before, or it's or even one that you've been before, but it's been like a couple of years. You're like, oh man, I never knew about this. So yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. When I went to Vegas and I saw the Raiders game, I went to the Allegiant Stadium. I had to go take a picture by the torch. Walk around the entire concourse of the stadium. Go to the upper levels, go to the lower levels, just see what it was about, what it was. The views, because the window in the north end zone faces out towards the strip. So you get the view out of that window. You go to the other end zone, take a view, pictures, all that good stuff. But yeah.
Yeah, sporting events. If you would ask like 18-year-old me, I probably would have just been there the whole time and stayed for the whole game. For a Magic game. We've discussed this, but we don't have to talk about it anymore. But nowadays, no, not sporting events. I do kind of want to see a Carolina game, but even a Carolina game, because it's hot and normally outside, you probably got the first half out of me, if that. But
Gamecocks or Panthers?
Sorry.
Or Tar Heels. Which Carolina are you talking about?
The only one that matters,
Oh God.
the Gamecocks.
Okay.
I mean, a part of Candy lore. I used to be. Wow, sorry, that was just really funny to me. I used to be a UNC, like a Tar Heels fan, when I was into college
Mhm.
basketball because that was the team. Well, I get that was like the closest basketball team to like root for. It was either that or Duke, right? Like you were either like a UNC fan
I
or a
mean,
Duke
there's a
fan.
South Carolina men's team also. You just don't
Yeah, but they
conveniently leave
weren't
them out like they ain't
popular.
close.
I mean, no,
I mean,
I'm
that's the
talking about
best time
so
to go.
when
Who
this
gets the
was like when
cheat?
I was 16. They were not good when I was
Okay.
16. Yeah, no,
They're
this was
not good
like
now.
no. I would love to see them today, but when I was like 16, 17,
They're always
it,
on the brink of entering the
they
tournament.
weren't as good as they are now. Like they were okay, but they're much better now than like 10 years ago.
No, that
No,
was because Spurrier
14
brought.
years ago. I'm old.
No, that was because
15 years ago.
Spurrier brought money into the program, and they were able to siphon that off a little bit to the basketball program.
Eh. But to answer your question, events. I went to an event I wanted to plug because I talked about it on Instagram because I showed up over there for a little bit. I went to an event that I was invited to because I think I mentioned that, I'm trying to turn over the event planning to the event planning ute here in the city. And I went to an event and did sound the same way that I DJ'd that one wedding. All of those were in air quotes. And but I ran some sound for the event and it was wonderful. And I got this well, I don't have a picture of the bottle of wine, but this is a strawberry wine blend, strawberry and blackberry wine blend. From the Uncut Gems agency. That's the organization that put on the event, and the curator, her name is Digital Drea on Instagram. So I just wanted to shout her out. And I mean, the wine is delicious. And so it was a kind of like an artsy farm to table. Yeah, it was called Wine and Dine. So it was like wine, farm to table food, and a tie-dye demonstration. That's what I'm trying to say. And so it was like a cool little event. And there were models there was music. So it was just like it gave me very much like early BINACT event days. So like my little heart was full. And it was a really good time. But you said events. I stayed there the entire time. Mosquitoes ate my ass up. I have 16 mosquito bites on me right now. I counted and I
You
probably
never
have
count.
more.
Jeez.
Because they ate my ass up. I did not realize that it was outside. And hilariously enough, because again, retrograde, I came in heels because I didn't realize the event was going to be outside. So I had heels on, and thankfully I always have my little slides in the car. People have been calling them like little Michael Jackson slides because they're sparkly, but like I just had my little slides on. I was like, I'm gonna put these on. But I had shorts on. So the mosquitoes respectfully tore my ass up. But anywho, event, I know if I plan to be at the event, I can stay the entire time because my brain is in that mode. If I don't feel like going and made the plan 2 weeks ago and I'm tired, probably like an hour. And if I don't want to go, I might do a drop in and show face for like 30 minutes.
Are you so given the right circumstances, you're the one that will leave early to avoid traffic?
Oh hell yeah! Depending on what the event is, if I didn't really want to be there and I'm doing it as a formality, this also goes for family events. If I'm there as a formality, hey, bye. And hey, hold on. Quiet as is kept. I don't think that anybody listening I would do this to, but sometimes I have Devin call me with a emergency and then I leave. But don't tell nobody.
See, I don't have that luxury anymore.
I'd be like, hey, call and tell me that the boys asked me to come home. Just cause I don't care what you say. Oh man, Devin, I gotta go. Bye.
And watch your mom gonna listen to this episode and be like this. Oh, really?
Hopefully this is not the one she listened to, because she'll just randomly pop in and be like, well, I was listening to the podcast the other day. You should stop cursing so much. I know. But that's only on occasion. So, and again, hey, YouTube, calm down because I'm drinking tonight. So anything goes.
Well, you're 15 minutes in, so you're good.
Anything goes, YouTube.
Oh goodness.
But
It's just
seriously,
nice little swig out of that. Out of that
it was
glass.
so good. Again, the wine, the wine. I have to get like I said, the agency or the organization that put that event on is called the Uncut Gems Agency. I think it's called Sweet Amethyst. Yes, Sweet Amethyst, because Amethyst is our state rock. Did you know that? Did y'all know that our state rock is the amethyst? Did y'all know that?
South Carolina got a state rock.
I didn't even know
Did
there.
you
It's not
also?
granite?
Well, okay, you might not know, AD.
I didn't even know there was such thing as a state rock.
Did you know that our flower? Okay, I was just telling my mom this. Did you know that our state flower is the yellow jasmine?
Yellow jasmine.
Mm-hmm.
I knew
And
that.
our bird is the Carolina wren.
Yep.
It's a little brown, like a little brown bird. But amethyst is also, and I know this. It's so funny to bring this full circle. When years ago, when we did the amethyst project, like the amethyst and amethyst 2 that was done with all the South Carolina artists, I was part of. Well, I won't put that in air quotes. I did help with production for the first version. There's amethyst and amethyst 2. I didn't help much with amethyst 2 because I was done during 2020, but amethyst, the first, was recorded at the end of 2019. So right before I moved, we did all that recording in December in Charleston. But it was an album with South Carolina artists. When I was going live, was that last month when I was doing good going live? I feel like that was last month.
I would
Maybe
say
June.
2 months. I would say within the last 2 months.
I played some stuff off of one of the lives, so you can find it in the live section of YouTube. But yeah, distracted, but I just wanted to mention that. So I'm really excited to chat tonight. As you can tell, not only is it just like retrograde and going on, but this episode is more loose, and we're going to be just a little more like chatty. We have a topic, but I wanted to keep it a little fun and open. And then we'll get to like new noise and the housekeeping towards the end. But just know that I get married in less than 2 months. So we're coming up on the what will be a fall break. I don't want to call it a hiatus because I'm hoping to return in November. That's the goal, but we'll talk more about it later. I just like keeping the consistency. I feel like we've been doing good, so I like keeping the consistency.
Life. Well, we always say life is lifing, and
life is lifing.
And this is a big life event.
Big life event. I fingers crossed. Like I said, I want to come back, but whatever. But since we're coming up on that, this is one of the episodes that we decided would be kind of loose, and then we're taking a look at September, and then obviously October is going to be October. Anywho. So what we're doing for this episode is having what we call a homework catch-up episode. And we'll probably do these periodically because in the midst of talking about, like doing our regular topics, or if we do album reviews or anything like that, we'll probably have some homework that we've been talking about doing and then we don't do. Like we've been like, put that down for homework. And then like, it becomes 3 weeks and we haven't done our homework, which is, it's fine. Again, this is not a rigorous course load. We're keeping it light and easy. So for our homework catch-up episode, I'm gonna go first. My homework, one of these last few episodes, was to listen to Devin Morrison. But I'm gonna go first and talk about it. But OG, can you remind me how did we get here? Do you remember how we got here?
I don't really recall. It might have been just me talking about. It might have been when we were talking about Jameson, and he had a couple songs that reminded me of kind of like a early '90s kind of R&B vibe.
I think that's what it was.
Devin Morrison was probably one of the artists that I also mentioned that reminded me of that same kind of vibe in that same way.
So I think that's what it was. And so, first of all, I have to say thank you for literally almost single-handedly turning my day around, because by 1:00 I was already having a fucking day. And I was like, okay, well, I need to do my homework. So full disclosure, at the beginning of the day, I was like, hey, I didn't do my homework, y'all. So I'm going to be kind of like trying to get my homework in. And I knew that OG made a Devin Morrison playlist for me called Devin Morrison 101. And I knew that it wasn't a particularly long playlist. So it was like 45 minutes long. And I was like, ooh, good. I turned it on in the car. And I was immediately like, oh, like it felt like I literally like exhaled. I was like, oh, this is nice. Like it was beautiful. And I'm gonna start my kind of like homework review by saying, listen to your friends' music recommendations. Maybe if we're all not so persnickety and like we're so busy, we can't do stuff. Like we'll find good music because I was in the car, so I was like brain off just vibes. Normally I get in the car and sometimes I turn on a podcast in the car. I either turn on a podcast or I'm calling somebody in the car because in my personal kind of route, I'm not going anywhere further than like 15 or 20 minutes away these days. And so I'll be like, oh, let me have a chit chat. Or like if it was a friend that I needed to call or something like that, I'll do a phone call or a podcast. But since I was intentional about putting on the Devin Morrison playlist, I just felt like I felt my shoulders unclench in the car. The first, it really did wonders for me. Like music really be like, like it works. Let me find, I'm pulling up the playlist. I have to pull up the playlist so I can talk about like what the first song that's on the playlist because I listened to it in order. Here we go. So the first one is LOVE, and that's just like it's Devin Morrison because there are a couple of songs on this playlist that have features.
Yeah.
I like you said, like it's an ode to 90s R&B. And to me, and maybe OG, you might see this differently. It's still like it feels like 90s R&B, but it's like modern isn't the word that I want to use.
Contemporary.
It's like revitalized. Like it's different.
Yeah. Reimagined.
Like it's
that's
the
a
energy
term.
Reimagined, like because it's the energy's there. So like it feels like 90s R&B, but like it also it's like a McDonald's Sprite. It's like 90s R&B McDonald's Sprite edition. I'm trying to articulate, but it's like it feels different. Like it feels good.
The music is a little bit more crisp. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like
more polished production.
But like not to say that means that like not shitting on 90s R&B by any means, but it's like it's different. No. Like it's just different. So I played LOVE, like that was the first song that came on in the car, and I ran the playlist back like twice. So I pulled. So I have some favorites that I pulled, but I'm gonna stop you. I'm gonna stop you at The Call 407. We Are King.
Yeah.
Baby.
Yeah.
Baby.
That one you just close your eyes and float.
We Are King. I love them so much.
Yep.
And I hadn't heard them, so when I saw it come up, I was like, I am ascending. And it also happened it happened to improve my mood, which now this is one of those things where I'm going to associate Devin Morrison with good just because of the simple fact of how I was introduced and how it worked out for me to be introduced to him. I was in the car waiting on something, actually to pay a deposit for a wedding vendor. I was waiting on the wedding vendor to get back to me. So I'm sitting in the car, like floating, listening to We Are King, like the song is called The Call 407. And then PBJ with Q. The disrespect of that 1-2 song, like to put those two songs next to each other. Actually, I'm sorry, the song, it's a 3-song run. Best feature, The Call, PBJ. That small part of the playlist, I don't know, I might not share it. I mean, I might keep it to myself for the rest of the playlist, so I'm gonna keep it a band. But no, I'm gonna share it. But that like section of the playlist is like, I was just entranced. I had a really good time getting into Devin Morrison, and then I kept going. I think Casper stuck out to me. I'm pretty sure it's that, but I know for a fact with Joyce Rice stuck out to me because she's a fucking badass. And so then we get to Yams, which here's when I realized that's the Yams. I for some reason I didn't.
You've been listening to Devin Morrison all this time and didn't know it, basically.
Well, that song to me, because it was like a meme song almost, I found it
Okay.
irritating. Like the song is good, but I found the song irritating. I love Masego. I love Masego and I love the song. I was about to say I remember being like, "Oh, I love the song," but then it got played out. But I did not realize this. Like I didn't. It was like this is that. Like that's the dude. And for some reason I thought, isn't Charlie Wilson on a remix? No.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think he might have did like a TikTok video
Or
or something,
something.
singing it or something like that. But yeah, I don't know if
Something.
he officially dropped the track remaking it or anything like that, or remix or anything.
But I was like, oh, so this is the guy. Got it. Cool.
Mhm.
And then It Never Rains in SoCal. So, like put me to sleep. Like I'm finished. I'm like at that point I was done. I got stuck there. So I heard the entire playlist, but I think the second time around I got stuck at It Never Rains in SoCal and ran it back like 4 times. And then there's a song. The last song on the playlist is Beverly Hills, Fonte, and Devin Morrison. I've
Mhm.
got to go back because I don't think I fully heard that because I was stuck at the other song. But I wanted to start off the episode by saying, listen to your friend's fucking request, you nerds. Like, just do it. Like, I know sometimes it's like, oh, yeah, I got to try a new thing and it's outside of my comfort zone. I mean, I get it. Like, this is not me. This is high pot kettle, you know. But like, listen to your friend's request because like it's fun and you might get sucked into a, loop of It Never Rains in SoCal. What is the name of that song? What is that? Yeah,
Well,
It Never Rains in SoCal. Mhm.
I need to ask you a question about that, and I'm gonna ask you a question you might take slight offense to, but we cool, so I don't mean no harm. You do know that's a remake, right?
No.
Okay, so now your homework is to go look up Tony
Oh, I
and
was
look
about
for
to
the
say
song
that.
"It Never Rains in Southern California."
I was about to say that. I was about to say that, and I didn't even listen
No,
to
I
the
did
song.
not.
Yes, that's a remake. That's a remake.
Okay.
But when I say that he
Oh wait, I've
sounds
heard that
like
song before.
the '90s, like he literally made a song. Wait, that might not even been the '90s. That might have been late '80s. I had to look that up, give you an exact date. But yeah, that's a remake.
I didn't know Secret Garden was a remake either on the Jameson album. I didn't know that either. AD told me that. So I mean, when I don't know things, I tell people when I don't know things. Okay, I didn't know that.
Well then, I mean that's what we're here for, right? This is musical education. Share with your friends.
Right.
Yeah,
So
we'll allow it.
So yeah, I just have to say that thank you, OG, for uplifting my spirit because today was a day, and you and Devin Morrison really turned that day around. I almost like it. You and Devin Morrison were the reason that I got up to record because it was almost one of the days where it was like, hey y'all, I might have to reschedule. I really considered it, and like with the tech issues that we had earlier, like again, I was being conspired against today, but God. You and Devin Morrison said, let there be podcast today. And so we are. We're here. Amen.
Mercury and Gatorade couldn't stop these vibes.
Mercury and Gatorade, right? Either way.
But yeah, It Never Rains in Southern California was released in 1990. So it is a 90s vibe.
And
90? Really?
That's before I was born,
Before
skillets.
Candice was born.
I wasn't born. I was 3 years before me.
No,
I wasn't even a twinkle in my mama eye, as they say.
Really?
I wasn't even thought about then.
I thought that came out like 94, 95.
See, y'all be on
I had
me.
just started 7th grade.
When y'all be on me, y'all be talking about songs that came out before I was goddamn born. Like, be fucking for real.
Hey, I know about the OJs and Earth, Wind, and Fire. That was before I was born.
Yeah. Tony is one to slip though. Like I should have known that one. I'll give you that.
But nah, I mean, I get it. I understand.
Okay.
That's like when you in the what was the video? I saw a video today where it showed like it was like a reel or something, and they're showing the parents sitting in the front seat listening to a song, and it was the beginning of Switch, I Call Your Name, and then that's actually the sample for Rich Boy Throw Some D's. So when the
That's
beat
right.
kicks in for Rich Boy throw
Oh,
some D's, the kids in the back seat like jamming to it, and the parents like, "This ain't the song I thought it was." So yeah,
yo,
it's one of those moments. Yeah, you
that
you just
reminds
you thought it was one thing, it was something else.
that reminds me when I was when I was doing CDs. I made a just straight old school, like a just old random old school R&B. But just to be funny, I put the first song on there was Twisted's Get It Wet. Just to set the vibes, right? Because I made it for my friends, but their parents like, oh man, that's great. I was like, yeah, but I don't think you want to play track one. Man, what are you talking about? Listen to track one, right? You hear Twisted talking about all that raunchiness, man. They were like this. I
That makes
actually
me
like that.
that makes me think of last night we were traveling back from the country. And I don't know why I forgot about this, but Luther Vandross's well ad lib. I forgot that it came from this house is not a home. That
The House
song,
Is Not a Home,
House
Yeah,
is not a home. I was like,
Superstar.
I forgot about this. Like,
that, that,
putting the
that
things together.
the 9 minute long version.
Yeah, because
We
he
were
starts with
listening to that.
Superstar and then ends with House Is Not Home, I think, or is it the other way
Yeah.
around? I don't remember.
Hold on.
Yeah, Candice,
I
that
think so,
song
boy.
also was likely released before you were born, and it was
Okay, now
also
that song.
sampled in the Kanye song.
Well, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking about the ad lib, and I was like, now that Luther, I do know about. When we talk about Luther again, the older men that I know the Luthers and the Al Jarreaus, like I know that. But sometimes somewhere in like the groups that were just forming in the 90s, I either know them or I don't. Like, because like
I got you.
I loved when the DJs used to play the samples, and then the songs that follow them.
Yep.
You
I
pick.
loved looking for samples back in the day.
Oh man, especially was it? Oh, see, Candace wouldn't know because she's not of that life. But when Dipset,
her ass would know.
put the used to do their mix when they did their mixtapes. They used so many different samples on their joints, right? And like Supertramp was on so many hip hop joints, and I was like, oh, and I was like, who is this? This is an actual person. It's a rock group. I was like, damn.
Ah. I mean, you are right. I didn't know about that.
They sampled Billy Joel "Moving Out" for "You Ought to Know." I think Dipset did. I know they sampled Billy Joel.
I'm gonna just pause right here very briefly. That's when y'all used to use samples effectively, because now y'all just recycle them. And again, it's fine. I just had to be a little bit crotchety because now y'all just recycle the same 5 fucking samples. But again, we're not gonna go down old lady yells at cloud. We're not doing it.
Oh, that's nostalgia. You got But I blame that, but I also blame that on the artist as well. But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
Again, back to joy.
I mean, but at the same time, it's like how many people use the funky drummer drum break?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, recycling samples been going on forever. It's just that they were less easily identifiable as a sample. Now everybody knows what the sample is.
That's fair. Kind of. Only kind of. Only a little bit. All right, who's next? Who else did their homework and wants to check?
I did mine. I can be quick with mine. Mine was October London.
Oh, yeah. How'd that go?
And I didn't know that he dropped two albums in 2023.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I was like, oh, are you sure? Okay. But I listened to the Rebirth of Marvin, and first impressions was it definitely reminded me of Raheem Devon.
Ooh, that makes me excited.
It definitely gave me that vibe. Definitely I would say the grown and sexy vibe. Like I could almost smell the cognac in the air, and and the heavy cologne. And somebody over there in the corner smoking a cigar.
I love that for you.
Right. definitely some songs were like old school disrespectful to women.
What? Okay.
Not like
Say
I'm
more.
calling, not like I'm
Say more, but also say less, but more.
no, not what I mean by that. Like that old school telling off, like in a smooth way, like, "Oh man, I miss you as doing this," but for real though, I'm fucking glad
Okay.
You mean like Orange Juice Jones when he was talking trash at the end of the song "In the Rain"?
yes,
Like the alley cat hush puppy shoe wearing.
yeah, it definitely gave
He
that
was straight.
vibe.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
definitely gave that vibe of smooth, like you could, like if you were listen to it like fully, but you're like, damn, that's smooth. That's a smooth diss. Okay, I can rock with this. So definitely, definitely, I would recommend it. Definitely need to check out the other album, and definitely want to see if the voice lines up with the live performance. I know that he's on Death Row, and Snoop
Mm-hmm.
is on the album, but he doesn't dominate the album. He
Oh, that's
really
nice.
he
Okay.
does more the
Mm-hmm.
ad libs, and play, and at times it's like acts.
Okay.
It acts
Mm-hmm.
to it. So I liked it. Like I said, it's one of those. It's definitely not one of those to like get you hyped up, but like like you put that on a late night, long drive home, windows down, you know, or even just sit at home. Like Candace is doing, sipping wine or whatever.
I feel again, praise the Lord for music because I was struggling. I'm not gonna lie. Today was a day. A whole day.
So yeah,
I feel you.
so I give my recommendation for that.
Yep.
I like
What's
it.
crazy is that I think I've heard some of his songs, but I don't think I've ever taken the time to go listen to his album. So while you were describing that, I went and downloaded a couple of the albums. So that'll be what I listen to probably for the rest of this week.
Noise.
Yep.
It's definitely I had it on while I was working. So
Mm-hmm.
and really they're not. This project was only 30 minutes.
Yeah,
Now,
that's
a
most
question for
albums these
that.
days.
I was about to say, like, do you feel like was it like a body of work or does it feel like an EP? Like, is it just kind of like stuff?
It's 11 tracks. I would
No.
say I would say this is more of a
Like, does it give full body of work or does it give EP songs all over the place?
good question. Because I'm looking at his okay, the greatest gift is a Christmas album, and that's 23.
Oh, that don't count. But also, as a Christmas girly myself, I will be going back. Tinashe has a Christmas album as well, but unrelated. We're not talking about Christmas music. Christmas music.
Oh, he got a dubstep and a dubstep house album.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, I saw that too.
I was aware
Yeah,
of that.
This
yeah, it's certain house. I can do house. Like this is an issue for another podcast, but I don't know how to pronounce artists' names anymore because I don't have DJs on the radio telling me how they sound when they pronounce their name.
That's
But
fair.
Meta, is that how you pronounce? We texted in the chat. But her, the song Questions, that is absolutely a house record. I don't really do house like that, but that song jams. That is
I
all.
don't
Carry on.
just to slight interject on the house. I don't know what jungle. Have y'all heard the Jungle album? Um Damn. Okay, well, we're taking away some more homework. We got maybe we even all listen to the Jungle album as a unit. I don't know that it's classified as house per se, but it's definitely like it's somewhere in between house and American Eagle music, like house and pop, I guess, like house and like mall music. But like I don't want to put it in the mall music category because it's not bad. It's just like in the way that it's kind the vibe is like syrupy. How much? Like it's good, but it's not like poppy in that way, but it's like somewhere in between. It's like house dance and that, but like somewhere in the middle. That's homework. for another time. But that album is really, really good.
Neither.
Yeah. Sorry, we talked about house, and that made me think of jungle. And yeah, sorry. So October London also has a dubstep album.
It's all
That's
good.
where we're at.
So definitely I gotta just get more familiar with his catalog to see what he's doing. But hopefully
I'm always down for some boots and pants.
Boots and pants and boots and pants and.
Well,
Look, I actually, since you said boots and pants, YouTube, I'm telling you, these DJs, they got like Sunday cleaning house. Like, I'm gonna put one. I'm gonna link one.
did we talk about Childish Gambino's latest project?
I think we did in the group chat.
Hold on, let's hold it. OG, talk about your homework, and then we can talk about Bando stuff.
Okay. So my homework was to listen to Jameson's Velvet album, which technically I did again because I had already listened to it once. When y'all first put me on, AD gave me this comprehensive like 2.5 hour playlist, which is he basically just thrown 3 albums from Jameson and called it a playlist. But
hey, don't disrespect me with that. That I gave you a full comprehensive.
Listen. This is what it is. There's no disrespect intended, but I throw a song out there like every Sunday that I'm feeling, and Candice, like, I don't really listen to loose tracks like that. So for her to get on to Devin Morrison, she just completely ignored like the 3 Devin Morrison songs I previously sent in the group chat. I had to put them on a playlist with like 14 other songs to get her to listen to those 3.
He gets it.
So for me, yeah, playlist, maybe an hour tops. You keep it around 30, 45 minutes, I will absolutely listen to it.
AD gave you a dissertation.
Sometimes multiple times.
Jameson dissertation.
He gave me a PhD defense on Jameson. And I was
but for good reason.
2.5 hours. This ain't a podcast. I can't listen to this at 1.5 times speed. I got to actually sit through 2.5 hours of music. But still, the music was good. So I rocked with it.
And look, see? Look.
You're better for it.
You're better for it. And look, for some of those tracks, I couldn't take it out of the order from the album because they worked so well.
I think didn't you do it in album order? Like
I did it by released?
Album order.
Yeah.
And then there was Lucy's in there.
And you know what? If you did it in album order, I absolutely did not listen to it in album order because the first song I listened to was Drinking. Yeah, I hit shuffle and just because I don't know none of these songs. I don't know this man.
Right.
Play the music. But so when I listened to the playlist, I was like, oh, this is jamming. I need to listen to more. So I'm a completist. What I did is I went back and downloaded first album to last album, and I listened in sequential order. So I kind of got a feel for how he started versus where he is today.
How'd you like where he started? I joke around and say that's the artist that Justin Timberlake wanted to be.
I mean,
as he started as.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't. His first album was what, Priscilla?
Yeah.
And I was like, I see what you're doing. It was. I'll put it to you like this: every album gave me a different feel, and I felt like it was a different place in his career when he recorded it, or a different feeling he had as he was recording each album. So Priscilla was kind of like, I want to do music. This is what I'm kind of feeling, but I've never done this before on this scale. So it was like, okay, this is cool. But then when the second album, the self-titled album, was like, okay, I think I'm more this. And that was the more cohesive kind of like, okay, this is jamming. This is what I do. And then like, what was the third? I can't remember the name. But it was like what the album with like the colorful cover. I can't remember the name of it. No, the blue was the second one. That was self-titled.
It is. You're talking about where it looks kind of like those paint splatter things.
Yeah. That's the one. Yeah, that one was kind of like, I felt like he was disillusioned with music, or just maybe the reception of what he was doing, and it was kind of like, I don't know if I want to do this no more. That's what it felt like to me.
So you're actually spot on in your take on that, because that's what "Fuck You" is about.
Okay.
Because he even said it is. He knew it, which was funny. Usher and a lot of these other bigger R&B acts were singing his praises, but he was taking those backroom meetings and them trying to change him, and he was just like, man, fuck this shit. Like,
Yeah, and that, to me, like I said, we talked about this like in the last episode. I don't know a whole lot about any artist's personal lives, drama, who they dating, whatever deals they've negotiated. I don't know anything about that. I just want to be here for the music. And I could tell in that album that he was just like, yo, if this is what it is, I don't know if I want to do this no more. So in, I think the order of things, the next album came was Whatever Makes You Happy. And then he was kind of like, you know what, y'all can say what y'all want to do. I'm gonna do what I want to do. And that's when he kind of like, he returned to, yeah, this is who I am. And then he doubled down like that, I felt, when he got to Velvet. Because Velvet was just like, yo, this is my groove right here. This lane, I'm about to tear this up. And that whole album.
And what did he do?
He tore it up. I got to give it up to him. He ripped it. That album was kind of like, I'm here. I'm confident in what I'm doing. And if you don't like it, I'm going to do it even harder than I did it before. So you really don't like it, because I really just don't care what you think about it. This is the music I enjoy. And it's made, like, if I had to describe the way the album sounds in a single word, I would call it powerful. Not like it's orchestral, not like it's big, loud sound, but it's like everything he put into it is going at 100% maxed out. Like every lyric is going to hit, every drum pattern is going to hit, every melody is going to hit, and it all just is like, you can't really say a bad thing about that album, in my opinion. It's all vibes.
And I dare somebody to do it. I dare you. Okay,
Now,
I have one question. I just have to ask you how you feel about Drama, the song. I'm just curious to know.
Drama was okay. I have a thing with songs later in albums. Like, if I'm listening in sequential order, the later the song is in the album, I am less likely to feel it as much as I might have felt songs earlier in the album. That's not to say it's his fault that it's late, is sequenced later, but
that physically
that's me. Usually,
but I get what you mean.
But yeah,
I understand the sentiment, particularly for an art. Like if you're not familiar with an artist, yes, Drama is.
Now I say that in the song right after Drama, part 2 is Sunshine, and Sunshine is my jam, because like I know I hate that I do this sometimes, but I think it's the only way I can communicate why it is that I like a thing. I end up comparing an artist and songs to other artists and songs just to kind of bridge that gap and be like, oh, that reminds me of this, and that gives me elements of that. Sunshine is one of those songs, like, if you told me that's a remake of a Bee Gees song, I'd be like, okay, I can see that. That perfectly makes sense, because the falsetto is just like,
I know I'm gonna like these homework catch-up episodes, because like I'm the complete opposite. I try my hardest, and I mean, and that also comes from the fact that I still like, there's so much more music knowledge for me. I try my hardest not to be like, when you think Velvet, you think distinctly like 70s, maybe even 80s. Like that's the time period you're thinking. So I distinctly try to be like, yes, it feels like disco, but no, like I don't necessarily go out of my way to like differentiate and separate them, but I go out of my way to be like, this is an artist making his own lane. And particularly because, like you said, with Velvet itself, it was a very staple, standout, like big ass album. And so I do the exact opposite. I didn't want to cut you off. I just wanted to like talk about like the different ways that we listen to things. Like, yeah, I'm glad I asked you about Drama though. I love, like, Drama is one of my favorite songs. There's not a bad song on that album, so like it's not like there's a song that like sucks and I'm like, oh, I hate this song. But like that Drama.
Yeah. Now, see, for me, Talk Is Cheap is probably the song that the way you feel about Drama is the way I feel about Talk Is Cheap, because Talk Is Cheap is like, oh, okay, so basically we just gonna let the top down on the 76 Seville. We're gonna make sure the white walls is nice and white. We just gonna bend the corner real slow. So
The
everybody
thing
sees
about it
us as we
is,
drive.
I feel that way about all
And
them
we just
songs
gonna vibe out.
because I've always loved Inferno down,
Yeah.
down. But like hearing it live, that album is I will go on record and say that is one of the most important albums like of my existence. I'm not gonna hold you. Velvet is super important to me. I don't know. I have a very strong fond memory attached to it, but even if I didn't, hearing it live like completely rewired it for me. Because again,
Okay.
like the I just have to go on record to say seeing him live for a second time is what like put me in a stand territory. Like I was already right at the cusp, but hearing it live,
So this is we can go further, but that's actually a good topic. Of name 5 albums that made you feel that way, that you say is definitive in your lifetime, that you can say boom, boom, boom.
now I will let y'all answer, but I have to think about that. I can't do it off the top of my head.
No,
Like
we can go. This is
The, the,
for the podcast, but just all just maybe
everybody,
one.
I'm about to say everybody name one. I said Velvet. Velvet is one of the most influential. At least name one, because 5
yeah.
off the top, I feel like I'm gonna change my mind.
Today is the 21-year anniversary of the release of one of those albums for me. T.I. Trap Music.
I know that's right.
That music, that album completely changed like everything. Like even Outkast, Scarface, whatever music had previously come out of the South, like it was all artists that I was into from like years past. At that time in 2003, when T.I. dropped Trap Music, like those artists had really, for the most part, stopped releasing. They were past the height of their career, so to speak. And I wasn't really feeling Cash Money and No Limit. But when T.I. came out with Trap Music, I ran that album every day, top to bottom, front to back. Like the only song on there I might not feel is Bezel. The rest of that album goes. And it's not just on a musical level. To hear somebody rap at the level T.I. was rapping at on that album, like No More Talk, like there was not an artist from the South who released a debut after that, in my opinion, who was rapping on the level T.I. was rapping at on that song. That was crazy. That album
As the
goes.
children like to say, the rent was due.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, the rent was due probably yesterday. The way he was
He
rapping
was like, I gotta pay this shit today.
He was like, not only do I need the full rent, I need the late fee. Let me get that too. Because he was rapping his ass off on that album.
I'm stuck at 21 years. That album 21 years
Yeah.
old.
Yeah.
God
Yeah.
damn.
August 2003.
Mm.
AD.
Yeah.
God damn. No, we're gonna come back to it, but I just 20. I'm
I'm
stuck at 21 years old. I'm not gonna lie.
I put them in the same.
Yeah.
I put them. I consider them to be one, even though it's 2 different artists. Chronic 2001 and Eminem Show, because at that point that was the height of I won't, you know, Dr. Dre, especially. That's like when I really started really trying to understand more about production and that big sound and movie theater vibes and whatnot, and just listening to that. And I'll be listening to that like late at night, like falling asleep to it. So, and when you're talking like some of those introduced me just to different artists and whatnot. But when you're talking about, that was a young M, that was a young hungry M, and he was rapping on those joints like, yeah, the rent was due, because at that point the rent was due for him.
Yeah.
Fair.
So, but then you got you know just classic joints, and finding out that Erica Badu, the Erica Badu Bag Lady,
Mm-hmm.
Explosive. I was
Flip
like,
that for Explosive. Yeah.
yep. So and then Devin the Dude, of just of how of just putting things together, you know.
Mm-hmm.
it was so, and then like I said, Eminem show. Like to me, that was like it's a diamond album for a reason because that was like I said, it was at peak of power of his powers, and he was just going like. And you just heard, and like you were saying, when he was, especially for like sing for the moment or whatnot, you heard like those lyrics just drop on you. Like he's making you, he's making you know, like this is what I'm talking about. So I would say those were my two because they came in high school, but those were like my.
I just have to point out that you have two. So when we revisit this, you only have three more.
I consider them one because I consider them one.
That's not one album. Those are two separate albums.
Hey, if
Nope,
the
that's
majority of the
cheating.
production's being
Cheating.
handled by Dre.
No, that's two albums. That's two albums. You can't do that. Now I would even give it to you if they were released in like a package or like a double feature. Those are two separate albums. You got three more.
Three more.
Yeah. Wait, but hold it. Pause.
But yeah,
Keep
we can do that in the future because
Keep them,
I'm
'cause-
thinking I'm building my list. ahead.
But you're doing it, and I want us to think about it. Because think about it is, if I could spit 5 albums off to you today, and it might change in like 2 weeks, or like whenever we record again, or it might change in 2 years or whatever. Like I want to actually like.
I could give you a
think about
10.
it.
I could give you a top 10.
Well, AD's homework will be to give us 10 because he said he could. I'm giving you 5.
I could give you
I'm giving you 5.
I know I can get you 5. 10,
I mean,
10 I
I
might
put-
start stretching it.
I'm about to say 10. I think I could possibly do 10, but then I'm gonna look at them. Some of them albums are gonna be like influential of my lifetime. Like I'm gonna look at them.
Yeah.
I'm like you could say, boom, this is one of my music staples. Like anybody that wants to know about me, go listen to these albums.
I mean,
They know what type of time I'm on.
Yeah. I mean, I could give you 10, but I like 5. For what I like 5 better for the condensing. And I know because I feel like actually for me personally, there'll be some albums that stay, but I think there'll be 2 that might change. Like there'll be like a 3, and there might be 2 that change every so often. But that's just me personally.
I got 5 off top, but
See, I could do 5.
I'm probably leaving something out,
Right. But like,
and then it's gonna make it difficult to figure out which one's top.
and again, it's like 5 and a possible. We always get our little weasel in or whatever.
Oh yeah, we playing spades now. We bidding.
5 and a possible. And that one honorable mention.
Got you. I got you.
But yeah, like first of all, I'm gonna love these homework catch-up episodes. I know it's gonna be great. I want the listeners to know that we haven't forgotten about our homework. There's actually still like a decently sized list of homework we've got. Like there have been things where we said we're gonna listen to it for homework, but that's why we're don't think that we're not keeping track. We're keeping track.
I still got the Lupe album downloaded. I just hadn't prioritized it.
I mean, again, prioritizing rap when the leaves about to turn orange is kind of hard for me, unless it's a Shimino. So
no, that Lupe.
You still owe me a playlist.
Shit. All right, I do owe you a playlist. I owe you all right, hold on. Let me write that down.
And, if we can keep it like 45 minutes to an hour, I'd appreciate it.
I got you. I do owe you a Smith. Fuck, I owe you a Smith playlist.
See, I could see you could play me. See, when I was doing mix CDs, especially like dance hall joints, you couldn't just tell me, hey, put 10 songs. Because the CDs back then you could fit 80 minutes worth of music on them.
Yeah, I was about to say. So that's like 8 dance hall songs.
No, I got 25 on them joints.
Now,
where you find a 5-minute dance hall song at?
Huh? I got
a 5-minute dance hall song at.
Oh, trust me, because the whole thing is I worked that 80 minutes to its point that it's like 79:57.
Oh, trust me, I know. Like we was talking before the podcast started. When you was burning them custom CDs, I'm not leaving no blank space. No, we gonna get all 80 minutes worth of music on this one.
Especially when you see how it burns, and you see like all that. See just how
all
much
that empty space you didn't fill up.
Yep, and you be pissed.
I'll throw an interlude on there if I got to.
Gotta
I'm gonna fill it up.
I miss burning CDs. And bringing me back around. Sorry, I'm on my soapbox. Listen to your homie shit. These are, I know it's like we're in a tech age, and I know when somebody sends you a link to a song, you're like, I'll do it later. This is people's love languages,
No.
specifically ours. And like, I know a lot of our listeners listen to the fucking song or the playlist. Make time. This is a PSA. Stop ignoring your homie's playlist. Stop. If I were a person making like a video content, like if we were that podcast, I'd make a PSA. I would, but I'm not that person. I won't be making any reels for that. So stop doing it. That's all.
Yeah, I'm looking back through our group chat now. I'm trying to find the album AD shared with us. I can't
The
remember
Lupe
the name
album?
of the group. No, it was before that.
What, 21 Pilots?
Yes,
I
that's
was about
it.
to say, yeah.
Yeah,
You've been wanting us because
like
you've been
that.
talking highly about that album. I haven't forgotten. I just have to
Mhm.
stop
Oh
and
my!
listen to it. Yeah, you said it's like you were like it's one you didn't you say it was like one of your favorite or like your like best
What?
album of the year?
Look, it
Like
just
you
came
feel
out.
that strongly.
It came out about 2 or 3 months ago,
I remember you talking about it.
and already my title thing is already says this is one of your most played. This is one of your most played songs off of it. Like it's
Wait,
that
what's the name of the album again? Because I for that I won't be listening. Well, Lupe is really OG's homework. I know it was both my
Clancy.
homework. I'm prioritizing that. I get Lupe might get heard before the end of the year,
Yeah.
but I will
But
I will prioritize it.
Candice, you would appreciate it because it's the whole thing is it's a lore, like it's the whole like their last 3 albums has basically been like this trilogy of a story.
We're talking about 21 Pilots, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
right. But you don't need to understand the lore per se for this.
Well, no, that's the thing. I want to prioritize it. The reason that I'm not prioritizing Lupe is because like Lupe is such a concept thing. Like I'm not ready to big brain. Like I
Oh
don't
no, no,
have
this
the
one,
space
this
for
one,
that right now.
this is an album that that literally touches on different genres.
Okay.
Like you got your pop, you got your pop, you got your rock, you got your rapping, you got. Now I went. Well, I say bubblegum. No, there's no bubblegum on it. But the subject matter in there, when you listen to the lyrics, it's just so and they put out a video for every song on the album, and they just started a world tour, their world tour for promoting this album.
If I'm going to give a PSA, I have to follow my PSA. I promise by next recording, I will have listened to the album. I promise. I will. I'm prioritizing this one. I cannot say that I will prioritize Lupe because of the content, but I'm prioritizing 21 Pilots. You will hear
It's
from me.
especially there's 2 songs on the album that when they were doing the music video drops, they said the lead singer Tyler, he was like, yeah, I was going to leave that song off of the album, and literally I was like, what is wrong with you? And his drummer was like, no, you should keep it on, and like literally hounded him to keep this song on the album. So he's like,
I know that's
2
right.
songs, and he was like, yeah, you need to keep that song on the album. You need to keep that song like every day until boys like Tyler's like, okay, damn it, fine. But
Refreshing. I love
it was
I love music
it's
composition.
it's therapy. That album is therapy.
That's what I said. I promise. I promise. I got you. I'm a listen. It's on it's on the top of the list. I actually saved. Speaking of which, moving into new noise, I saved like 6 albums.
6.
Okay, I could be exaggerating. Hold on, but I saved at least like 3 albums.
I'm surprised you ain't talk about or did you talk about Tinashe dropping her new album last week?
I actually have a lot of feelings there. I I'm gonna put a pin in that and I'm gonna write my note. I'm gonna talk about that live. I have so many feelings and they're not coherent, but I have a lot of feelings. It is one of the albums that I saved and I didn't give like I listened, but I didn't listen. I have feelings there. Typing, because I am gonna go live by the time that this is recorded, I would have already went live, but I swear to goodness I'm going live this week because I've been slacking. But as you hear me typing, the note is there for me to talk about it live. But thank you for reminding me. I'm talking about it live. There are feelings there. For New Noise, I saved like 3 or 4 different albums. I was on a roll. Saturday, I went out to get some like writing done and to like clear my head. As far as creative ideation goes, I do not work well at home. I can get admin tasks done. I can record the podcast at home. But if I need like a fresh new idea, or if I'm trying to write something, I have to go, like I have to get up, go to a coffee shop or something like that. So I went out and I saved at least 3 albums. Let me go to my little album section of Spotify. But the main thing that I want to talk about for New Noise, and again, this is new to me, and actually, this is actually relatively new. Omar Apollo dropped an album in June, and I did not get through the entire album, but I got stuck with the first song on the album called Be Careful With Me. Like, this literally formed my entire New Noise. I don't know why Spotify, or if Spotify even recommended this. I don't think the album I got recommended Kenyon Dixon and Sam Henshaw. So like it automatically recommended both of those albums to me. And I just saved them in like I want to come back to the album part of this. But maybe Omar Apollo has been coming up on my daily mixes and things. And so I feel like I'm kind of like, I can't say that I'm a full fan, but I like Omar Apollo. I've seen the name. I can recognize his voice. So I saved the album from, I think one of the songs came up on one of my mixes, and I just saved the entire album because that's how I do things now. I'm like, okay, let me try your full album or like your EP or whatever you come up on. Be Careful With Me. In fact, I almost kind of want to name the episode Be Careful With Me. But we also kind of have to name it Retrograde just due to previous conversations. But that song is so good, y'all. Like, so good. Like, that's another one. If we're talking about songs that had got me in a trance this week, it was The Call, 407, the song Devin Morrison and We Are King, and that Be Careful With Me, chokehold. The other, like I said, the albums that I saved Kenyon Dixon, which is R&B You Love for the 99 and the 2000s. So that feels like it's going to be, some more like late 90s, early 2000s jams. Kenyon Dixon, I found out about Kenyon Dixon actually via Sirius XM. So I'm like another one that I'm a loose fan of, but I know I like I can recognize his voice. I know the music. So that's one of it says album. This again is one of those things where it's like EP. It's 7 songs, 27 minutes.
Yeah, I was going to say, and those songs I think appear in previous albums.
Oh, huh. Oh, so it's a compilation. So really, this is just an EP.
Yeah, Good Love is not new, and neither is 2000s B.
I'm glad you told me that. So this is actually just a compilation. It's not an album, but it got recommended to me. But
yeah, me too. But both of those songs appear on his album, The R&B You Love from 2023.
I appreciate that.
So really ain't but 5 tracks.
This is, I guess, or it's like a deluxe or like a compilation EP. I'm still going to listen to it. But also Sam Henshaw got recommended. And this is actually an EP. And it's called For Someone Somewhere Who Isn't Us. Sam Henshaw is another one. Know the Voice has been recommended a couple times. He has an upbeat song called Church that I love that I have on a playlist. So I saved this. Thana Hughes. OG, I'm looking at you. I feel like you're gonna like Thana Hughes. I have not listened to this album yet. It's called Moth. When I say that, I literally I literally acquired albums like Infinity Stones, and I realize that I make that reference a lot for somebody who does not really know anything about Marvel movies, but we're not going to talk about that.
Yeah, it's
But
funny. It's like artists you mentioned, I've gone and downloaded basically their entire discography. Need something to listen to in the gym.
I think Vanna Hughes is kind of slow. I don't know if that's going to be gym music, but
Hey, listen, gym music for me is just anything that I don't have to pay attention to.
that's fair.
They can just be playing, and I can catch a vibe, and they'll be like, "Oh, what's the name of that song? I like that one."
True.
Other than that, yeah, I don't need energy in the gym. I got enough of that.
Vanna Hughes is one that I believe I've saved her music on. It's a playlist I called Random Access Songs, like Random Access Memories. Daft
Shout
Punk.
out Daft Punk.
Yeah, but I'm I've got jokes. But I think Vanna Hughes is on that playlist a couple times, and that's literally that's a catch-all playlist for me. If it's a song that like I want to throw on for the vibe, that playlist 10 hours long. And it's not cohesive at all. It's just like it's literally like this feels like a vibe. And like if I eventually figure out where to put it in playlist, I will put songs out of that playlist and move it to the anywho, not the point.
She thinks she me.
Anywho, not the point. So I saved Vanna Hughes. That album is called Moth. The cover art is beautiful for it, and so I'm making mention. And then, last but not least, I swear, but you brought Maida up. So I saved Maida's 2003 album, When I Hear Your Name, and I actually listened to all of that on Saturday. Yeah, like so. I collected these albums. I don't have like full fleshed out thoughts because I listened to Maida, and then the other ones I kind of saved to fully get into. And then again, I listened to all of Maida, and then I was gonna move on to Omar Apollo, and I got stuck at Be Careful With Me for Omar Apollo, but I wanted to listen to the full album. Said all that to say, I had a shit ton of new noise for y'all because I was in the zone on Saturday because I went to go like when OG talks about doing chores and things. Full disclosure, our house is in chaos right now just because of the way that things have been going. So I haven't been doing the throw something on in the background. And then for me, when I do that, it's normally the DJ mixes I find on YouTube. But I had a lot of new noise for y'all asses this week. So I know I spent like 10 minutes talking about albums. Does anybody else have any new noise? I
think I downloaded all of them too, so I got plenty of stuff to listen to in the next couple of days.
Does anybody else have new noise?
Mine is Malia. She dropped a new album called Back in My Body, and Deep Green is the dopest track on there in my opinion. But if you know Malia, it's like self-love, good vibes. The voice is there, the music is there. It's a dope album. But yeah, Deep Green stands out for me on that album. And I've probably run that back at least 25 times this week. And it's
for
just
clarity. For clarity, this is Malia, and that's spelled Malia. There's another artist. Yeah, I want to just make sure because I get recommended a Mahalia, like also in all caps. Like
Mahalia's dope too.
Right, Mahalia. So two different artists, just two different female artists.
Mahalia, Malia, both are all caps.
Both dope.
Both
all
very
caps.
similarly spelled.
Right,
both dope,
but different artists. And I love them both, but I am going to check out the Malia album per your recommendation.
Yep.
Because I know it's good.
Yeah, absolutely.
AD, new noise.
Because I was coming off of a trip with everyone in my household, so I really couldn't listen to new stuff.
All right. That's all right.
But
my condolences.
Again, I gave you like 7. I think I covered you. I had a lot of albums.
And let me tell you, number one, I don't do roller coasters like that.
Did you do some roller coasters recently?
I did, and my butt.
Look at you going outside of your comfort zone.
Nope, and that shit.
You said, I'm going back into the comfort zone.
Man, that damn near broke me, man.
Now they broke you.
Yeah, especially when they say. So they tell you that the miles per hour were on the rides, and it's deceiving.
I haven't been on a roller coaster in a minute. I actually like them, but I haven't been on one in
I don't need
years.
I don't need to be flipped and turned and have all my kibbles and bits tossed upside down to come later out. Nope.
Actually, I have not been on one since I've been 30, so I might feel differently. I don't
Oh,
know.
I went
Them
on.
days are me.
Nah, I had to do it for the kids, but afterwards I said, "Nah, fuck that, fuck them kids. I ain't doing no more."
I still do the little swingy thing. There's a swingy ride at our fair that I won't be able to go to
Hell no, hell no.
because it's well. Hopefully, I can get to the fair maybe after the
I could do,
wedding.
see.
But
I could do.
yeah.
You know what thing is? I could do water rides, but I cannot do.
Oh,
But I
it's a
can.
different type of like the velocity science and stuff. It's different, and you're
It's,
not going as fast on
oh,
a water ride. I
the
mean,
one
you go fast on a water ride, but roller coasters are way
our,
faster.
it was fast, but it was. But it didn't make me. It didn't make me want to. Earl. The other ones, I was like,
I've
yeah.
never got sick on roller coaster. The adrenaline for a roller coaster is I like again. I don't know what's in me, but
Oh,
I love a
you
good
lucky. You lucky.
adrenaline.
I didn't have. I don't have those genes. But
Mr. Blue doesn't like them either. In fact, he gets like the dizzy, the spot, vertigo. He
yeah,
gets
that's
that.
what I have. That's
He
what
gets
I have.
that. So we can't ride together. It's very sad.
That's what I have, and I get the whole. But you have to go. No, you can ride the baby rides. Like what?
Oh no, yeah. When we go places like that, and the kiddos they're still like leery of the big rides. I just go if I'm going, I go by myself. Like I ride and they wait. Like or I just don't ride. But yeah, I'm the odd man out when it comes to roller coasters and things.
But
So
uh, but when I came back, I for some reason, and I guess it's because I was doing the drive back from Hershey, Pennsylvania. Um, and I just had some music going on just to get me through the night or whatever. And a couple of Brockhampton songs came on.
Mr. Boo,
So
we used to love Brockhampton.
yep. So I know they broke up or like they took a
Right.
hiatus or whatever, but I never officially listened to those two albums.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided let me just go check what the albums were. And it's the album that was really listened to was called The Family.
Hmm.
And it was not what I expected. I had to do some research, and it's mainly Kevin of the group. Basically, I want to say dissing, but basically airing out like why we're breaking up. It was very raw in the emotions, and those lyrics said it. Like even to the point like, he was talking on one song. He's talking about how I want to keep my friends around, but this happened, and I'm finding out that I'm an alcoholic, and I'm trying to talk to my mom about all this, and she's even asking me, why don't you just keep the band around?
I remember because I think one of the things I only remember loosely about Brockhampton. Like I said, Mr. Boo used to be a pretty big fan of theirs. There was some I don't know if our allegations like something happened
It was
surrounding.
one of the main one of the members. He's not in the group. He wasn't. They kicked him out. Um, there were like essays
Yeah, it
allegations.
was something like that, but that kind of also shifted like the group's dynamic or something like
Yeah,
that.
because the what when he was there, it was more I would say more balanced, but more had that edge to it. Once he left, the edge was
Mm,
gone.
got it.
But again, it just how talented how that group was, because you're talking about basically what I want to say this age group is, but basically it was a nice. They didn't piss me off because all of them could rap, either rap.
Because they were young, or I mean, they like in like they weren't like older. They were kind
No,
of
they
like
were young. They were
yeah.
young, and all of them could either rap, produce, sing. It was like what you want. We like this.
Yeah, they were
Yeah,
versatile.
and even talking about because Kevin is gay, so even talking about
Did you
that,
know
and
that?
yeah, So even talking about that, I was like, what? Oh, like I thought I'd be like, whoa, 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 right? But it was just like, oh, okay. It's like I said, it was raw. That's the best way I could always say about Brockhampton is they're they go different ways, but it works. But it's raw. But this one, like it just kept more talking to like, yo, this is really what's going on. The album deal, the record deal, we're trying to get out of it. Maybe, maybe not. We at each other's necks. These were my best friends because all of us we were came together just off of the love of the music, and now everything is just breaking down. He even said like, "Yo, the last album, I didn't even want to do it because I was already working on my solo album." So it's like put all that exposing all that insecurity and whatnot, and just the production on it because there's a song called Big Pussy, and all I'm going to say is how how they flipped that production because I thought it was going one way, but how it went was like, oh, okay. So I know there's one more album after that, but that's definitely what I was listening to. So
I love that. Not all of us also came with a whole bunch of heavy hitters for the new noise this week. I had a secret goal to see if we would be any shorter than we were last week, and the answer is no.
if you want
But
if you want to talk about Childish Gambino, whatever that shit was.
that's also going in the live. So now, if y'all want to come chat with me, I promise I'm going live in 2 days. So again, for listeners, it will have already happened. It will be in the past for when you hear this. But I'm going live in 2 days, which will be on Thursday. We record on Tuesdays. I'm going live on Thursday. Um, those are two things that I will talk about live because my thoughts on those are not only are they all over the place, it's not even the time. Like, yeah, we can.
Now, can I
We
just say,
Your thoughts are all over the place. So is the album. But I digress.
man? Can I just say, heavily disappointed. That's
I
all I'm
mean,
gonna
yeah,
say.
I say you can. Yes, we can talk more at length and get our shit off in the live. But Thursday and Thursday 7-ish. I've been saying 7-ish. So I'll be around the lives if you for people that have come in live. It's normally like 45 minutes to an hour. Doesn't have to be that long, but we just chill. I normally play indie artist in the background to because it's still YouTube, even though our channel is not monetized. I play indie artists also just to like, talk about it and, get conversation moving. So that will happen. But since I know playing this live will be doing more talking, I'll do a couple of indie artists at the beginning and then just chit chat. But yeah, let's talk. Because there are things that I want to say. Their thoughts that are gonna come out. Similar with Tinashe, I'm putting them both down as things to talk about. But I've missed going live. I was doing a really good groove in going live when we weren't doing our regular recordings, and I want to get back to it. So yeah, but again, if you pop in on live or not, we'll talk about it there and we'll get our shit off. But if anything, I know I will be getting my shit off. We will be discussing. Cause yeah.
I'll be with you putting tomato emojis in the chat.
Yeah. We gotta talk about it. I think we do. We at least gotta talk. Like we don't have to go too deep, but we gotta talk about it just a little bit. So last minute housekeeping. I mentioned it at the beginning of the episode. Like I said, we're on August is basically the last month that we're on our consistent schedule the way that we should be. September could possibly be a bunch of lives. You may get an episode out of us, you may not. So September's a little looser. October, you won't hear from us at all, period. And then November might be one of those shaky months with some lot. I don't know. But then we always do take a break for December for holiday time. So housekeeping wise, we'll be doing that. And by Jeffrey. I don't know who Jeffrey is, but I want to be writing something. Like I'm in all these months of like up in the air. I'm just gonna hold myself to task to write one fucking thing before the end of the year for the blog. That's just a me thing. But I will ask AD and OG to hold me accountable. Just one thing before the end of the year. One thing, one written thing. Just
You
one.
better get it out before October.
Yeah, you say you better hurry the fuck. You better do it in September, bitch.
Hey,
Um,
October ain't gonna happen.
I think September's a whole. I have a September. There's a whole month of September, so and there's still a little bit about or August, like October.
Candice.
Shh, no, I gotta.
Candice.
I've been wanting. No, AD, I've been wanting to write.
Candice.
Like, no, you're not. You can't talk me out of this. I need to
Candice.
write something. Not in October, but September is the month for me to write.
Candice.
I gotta do it, man.
Oh, geez. Why does she not want to take wisdom? We have been there.
I gotta do it. I gotta. It's kind of like a thing, like, the last thing I do, like, I got to.
No, Candice, if you can't do it in 3 hours, then ain't getting done.
Yeah, my question was gonna be, what's your word count you're targeting?
No. See, we're not doing that. I just have to write and publish a thing.
No, Candice, you are not. Listen, you are not.
Candice, you can do that tonight.
I mean, okay, 250, between 250 and 500 is the word count.
Do 250 in an hour, easy, edited and everything. As long as you got something you feeling.
That's what I'm saying. Like I want it to be.
Have you not seen those those Grammarly commercials with the guys like this? I have my pencils and pens in order. Once I grab a drink, I am ready to write my dissertation, and he knocks everything over, and he's just so frustrated. That's Candice.
Do y'all listeners? Do y'all hear this? Do y'all hear them not believing in me? I want to have a thing written. I'm trying. They don't believe in me, but
Candice,
I believe in
Candice. How far out is your wedding date?
A month and a half.
Like
I can do this.
3 weeks.
A month and 3 weeks.
I can do this.
A month and 3 weeks.
I can do this.
Have you had your bachelorette
You could
party?
do it tonight.
Remember, I had my bachelorette. Remember, I bacheloretted early. Remember that? That was a couple months ago. It was in May.
Okay, so
see, I can do this. I can do it, and the timing will be before the shower because my shower's in a couple weeks. I can do this. Listeners, y'all hold me accountable because these niggas don't believe in me.
Okay, I got the date for you. I got the date for you. Not 15. By the time I go see Maxwell, that's September 21st.
Yes.
That's reasonable. Yeah,
that's
a
reasonable.
Deadline.
See,
that's a whole month.
That's
reasonable.
Okay, you got a month. You got a month.
If you can't do 250 words in a month.
We got to ask some questions. Yes,
mm-hmm.
I can write 250 words in a month in my notepad file. All right, I ain't even got to sit in front of a computer for that. You can do 250.
Yes,
250 is light work.
They believe in me.
Quarter page.
I take it back. They believe in me. The 21st, we're doing it. So, I said all that to say for the housekeeping. That's what we're doing. Continue to support us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and YouTube. We are 5 subscribers away from me being able to go live on my phone. Please subscribe on YouTube so I don't have to sit at this computer. I mean, I will, but like, because sometimes I'm just gonna prop the phone up. I'm gonna keep it a band. So give me 5 more subscribers and live from the phone. Yeah. And actually, just as a last housekeeping note, because we're bringing the stuff with the blog, bringing that back. I was really attached to newsletters, but I don't know that I'm going to do blog and newsletter. It's been a little tough to justify both of those things. I don't know if the newsletter is going to come back, but continue to catch us on socials. And for people local to Columbia, you may see me once or twice before I go into, like wedding hidey hole at events and stuff. But yeah, if you're out, say hi. My social meter normally is pretty high for those events, especially if I plan for it. But yeah, that's all the housekeeping, and that's all for the episode. This has been the BINACT podcast, where we talk music, the people that make it, and the communities that listen to it. You'll hear from us sometime in September. Be safe. Have a good one, y'all. Good night.